This is J. Krishnamurti's third public discussion in Ojai, California, 1978.
I think it would be good if we could talk over together as two friends who are not too opinionated, too dogmatic, too assertive or aggressive, but rather in friendly spirit, without any animus or antagonism. Talk over together their daily problems, not some abstraction, not some theoretical ideas, but rather their daily unhappy, sorrowful, frustrating life. So could we have a dialogue about such matters? So what would you like to take up this morning?
Sir, how does materialism affect clear thinking? There's a lot of talk in people's minds about the material world, and we're told by certain people that we should give up material things in order to find clearness in thought.
Does material way of life or existence, money, work and so on, does it affect a different way of life? Is that it, sir?
Well, not so much that, but as to, say, if you're thinking on ideas in general, the problems of your life, when I make a decision about something, or when I try to find an answer to a particular question.
I don't quite follow your question, sir.
It's hard for me. I'm nervous speaking to you like this, but as I see people and as I see myself, when I try to make a judgment or to form an opinion, I find that it is colored and shaded by my desires in the physical world.
Your opinions, your ideas, your thoughts change according to environment and so on, is that it?
Yes, I think so.
All right, sir. Good Lord.
The life, the way it's put together now, wired together, the game that we all play in this material, with materialism, such as this gentleman was talking about, is it possible to be clear and yet have to continue along the way that we're going now?
Could one live a clear life, with clarity, the way we are living? Is that it, sir?
Yes.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Not.
Obviously not.
No.
But if one is to live one's life out in relation to what's going on now, do you give up everything?
No, we'll discuss that, sir. We'll go into it.
Thank you.
Sir. There's a large amount of time I spend looking for someone to help. And then there are periods of time where there's apparently a communication between someone and myself. And there's a communication a rapid fire communication between a large number of periods of people. And it seems to be communication, but it always comes out help. Help me in the way I need it. What is the difference between helping the way I see it and the helping the way a person asks for it? What is the quality of help?
What is the quality of help? Please, sir, I'm not the chairman. You are decide. Yes, sir.
Sir, I'd like to know if we could discuss today these questions. And to begin with, can intelligence, not mental capacity, and maturity, not related to time, grow through right questioning and right inquiry? And if it can grow, will this growth ever bring forth a flower that is a total transformation of the mind? And
what is the question? I can't quite make out.
It's can intelligence and maturity,
What?
intelligence that's not related to capacity, and maturity that's not related to time as far as getting old, can these things grow through right questioning, through putting the right question?
I see. Is there maturity, right thinking, which is not involved in time, by constant questioning?
Right.
That's enough, sir. One question at a time, because that, you don't mind?
I don't mind.
All right, sir.
I found that desire for transformation leads to tremendous conflict. Yet, without transformation, I keep projecting violence and hatred. What is the solution? Is transformation here and now possible?
Can transformation, a different quality of mind, come about through without conflict? Is that it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's enough, please.
Yes, sir. You said that there is a biologically based demand by the brain for security and order. Yeah.
I can't quite make out here. What? Yes.
You said there's a biologically based demand by the brain for security and order. I want to know, at what point does this demand begin to create disorder and insecurity? And why, at that point, doesn't the brain see the illogic of it, or the danger of it?
I'm afraid I can't make out. Somebody else made it up.
There's a biological demand by the brain for security. There's a biological demand for the brain, by the brain for security. And is there conflict that results from
I can't make out.
I want to know, at what point, at what point does the brain begin to create disorder and insecurity?
Let's keep to that. How does disorder come about? Is that the question? At what point? Or what is the beginning of disorder? Look, yes, sir.
Could we go into the problem of acting with integrity in a society that has become a desert, that is rapidly deteriorating, that is fragmented, and the problems of being an oasis
Yes, sir.
in that desert?
That is, could we go into the question of integrity in a society which is rapidly declining, deteriorating?
So, I want to find out if it's possible to come sweetly, without effort, upon inaction.
Is there a way of living which means action, which doesn't involve effort? Is that it?
Well, a way seems to me to imply forming a corridor.
Yes, quite right. So,
I
yes.
want to find out if it's possible
Yes,
to come.
is it possible to live a life without deep conflicts? Is that it, sir? Is that your question?
May I try again?
What?
May I try again? Is it possible to come sweetly, effortlessly, without decision? That's a good word.
Without
decision.
Without
Decision. Upon an ending to foolish activity.
I'm afraid I can't make out. So what?
Without decision.
Without?
Without decision.
Without choice. Without choice.
Without choice. Right.
Choice
So,
is an act.
right. So look, there are so many questions. What shall we? Yes, sir.
Boredom.
Beg pardon?
What is boredom? What is boredom?
What is boredom?
Can we speak about boredom? How it
Yeah.
arises?
Yes. What is boredom? Can there be an end to boredom?
Sir, I must find out that when my mind is quiet, the answers come to me in words, and I do not know how to go beyond the word, because my answers always come in words, which is thought, which is time, which is spirit, or craft. And I don't know how to get over the word. Do you understand me?
Not quite, sir.
I reason in words, and I find that words are useless, and I don't know what to do about it.
He doesn't know how to go beyond the word.
So how is it possible to go beyond the word? Is that it?
How?
How? But look. Now, which of these questions shall we take so as to cover most of the questions?
The one about integrity.
About integrity. Boredom. No, which question, which would include all the others, so that we can go into that one question which will cover all the others.
If it's possible to be without conflict.
Yes, I think that may be. May we take that up, sir? Would you want to say something special, sir?
Yeah, it's along the lines as Kim said. I want to know if there is any action we should make it all from a center, from an ego center. Any action whatsoever.
Yes, sir. Could we take that one question and go into that, which is it possible to live a life without choice, without conflict, without division? Could we discuss that? Is that what would like? Would that cover all the other questions, including the what does it mean to help others and so on? Could we take that? Would you agree to that? I'm not particular about that question. Any question would do which would cover all the others. So if this will, in exploring this, other questions will be answered, then it will be worthwhile. If you all agree, then we can go into this one question. Right? May we? Shall we?
Yes.
Right. First of all, why is there choice? And what does choice mean? To choose between this and that, between a certain material for a cloth and other materials. Why is there this emphasis, this constant choice going on? And we're asking, we think that where there is freedom, there is choice. Choice to go from one job to another, from one town to another, from one idea to another, from one belief to another, from one guru system, this and that, to another. So why is there choice? Please, we are exploring it. I am not telling you what to think or trying to persuade you to think in a particular direction. So we're asking, what do we mean by that word choice? Choose between this road and that road, between the right action, what is right action, what is this constant endeavor on our part to choose. When does this choice come into being? What is the beginning of choice? Please, I'm not talking by myself, so please join me in the game.
Would it be out of confusion?
We're going to find out, sir. You are saying, are you, where there is choice, or rather choice springs from confusion. That is, if one does not know a particular road, then you ask somebody, then there is no confusion. But if you are confused between this road and that road, then you have to choose. Are you saying, sir, that where there is confusion, there is choice? Is this, if I may most respectfully ask, is this out of your own discovery or you have read about it? Because otherwise, if you are merely repeating what somebody has said, including the speaker, then you're not entering into the game. You are not playing tennis. You're not playing a game.
I know you have said it, but before I knew about you,
Good.
I saw that.
So you are saying where there is confusion, there is choice. Where there is clarity, there is no choice. So, what do we mean by that word confusion, disorder, uncertain? What do we mean by confusion? Please, sir.
It seems when one is confronted by two or several different things, and one doesn't know which one is right, one makes a
Right,
choice.
sir. That is, out of that comes choice. But we're asking, what is the origin of disorder? What is the origin of confusion? Conflicting desires, opposing desires. Does that make for disorder?
That is disorder.
That is disorder. We are trying to find out a common meaning so that we all see the same thing together. What is the origin? How does disorder arise? Now, may I ask, does one live in disorder? Right? What do you mean by that word disorder in your life? Is your room untidy? You have not put things where they belong, socks, shirts, or whatever it is. And so there is disorder in your room. There is disorder in the world, right? One group against another group, one nation against another nation, one set of ideas, opinions against others, and so on and on and on. So we are asking, what is the origin, the beginning of disorder? What is she? Thought. She is suggested by that lady that thought is the origin of disorder. Is that so?
Thought produces or manufactures possibility.
What's that?
Thought creates the possibilities, the ideas.
Yes, but before you jump straight off into thought, is one aware, if I may ask, this is not a group therapy or a confession, but one should ask oneself, do I live in disorder, both outwardly and inwardly? Then what does that mean? Not the origin of it yet, but what does it mean when you say, yes, I live my life inwardly as well as outwardly is in disorder, right? What? Are we aware of that disorder? Or is it just an idea we're saying we are living disorder? You understand? Which is it we are talking about? The idea of disorder or the actual disorder?
The actual disorder.
The actual disorder. Now, are we aware of it?
No.
Huh?
No.
Quite. Now, if one is not aware of the actual disorder of in one's life, how is one going to be conscious of it? Who is going to make you conscious of it? Another war? And somebody telling you, hitting you on the head? Somebody forcing you to see that you live in disorder? How will one become aware that one lives in disorder? Is it a deception? You follow? One deceives oneself so easily, thinking, yes, I live in disorder. So deception, a conclusion, an idea is not the actual fact of disorder. So what is one actually aware of this disorder? If one is, then we can proceed from there. You understand my question?
Would we not have to know first what order is?
No, first disorder. When we understand the whole nature of disorder, out of that comes order. You don't have to seek order. I don't know. All right, so let me put it this way. If we negate what is not order, see what is not order, then out of that perception comes order. If I see what is disorder, disorder is conflict, right? Disorder is constantly deceiving myself, constantly living in a confusion, in illusion, escaping from actuality, thinking that I have achieved something when actually I'm rather silly. All these deceptions bring about disorder and other factors. Now, am I aware that I am living in an illusion? I'm taking that for a moment. Illusion being something which is not actual. You understand? Deceiving myself, hoping that I will be different and acting actually differently. So, am I aware that I am living in an illusion, in a make-believe?
Sir, it seems we're aware that we are in the illusion when we question it, but other times when we don't question it, we're not aware that we're in the illusion.
Yes, sometimes we are aware that we live in disorder and then question it. At other times, we are not aware that we are in disorder. Now, wait a minute, sir, please. Let's look at that question, which is, sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not aware of disorder. Do you consider, generally, not you particularly, sir, do you consider living in disorder is a danger? Actual danger, like meeting a rattler or some poisonous insect or a dangerous animal. Then when you are faced with that animal or insect or snake, you know it's the most dangerous thing. So in the same way, does one realize living in disorder is essentially dangerous? Not say, I occasionally am aware of the danger. You're not occasionally aware of the danger of a rattler. You're constantly aware of the danger of a rattler. So in the same way, is one aware of the danger of disorder. Disorder, we mean confusion, self-contradiction, saying one thing, doing another, thinking one thing, and hoping differently. Disorder comes where there is division, where there is duality, me and you, we and they, my belief and your belief, my God and your God, my Guru and your Guru, and so on and on. So, do we realize where there is division, nationalistic, religious, belief, ideals, whatever, wherever there is a division between man, woman, and so on, there must be conflict. And that the essence of conflict is disorder. If this is clear, we can proceed. You may question it. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. We are putting this forward for you to examine, explore, find out.
By division, don't you mean more than a separation?
By division, do you mean, isn't division mean more than separation? Both separation, division in the sense psychologically.
Somehow a value judgment of superiority or inferiority?
Yes, sir, superior. When I think I'm superior, I know and you don't know, that is division, that is separation. But if we both start not knowing and inquiring, there's no separation. So we have made it clear that where there is psychological division, belief, nationality, gods, rituals, my country, your country, and so on, that division brings conflict, and the essence of disorder is conflict, nationally, politically, all the rest of it. Are we together in this? I'm not asking you to believe what I'm saying. Yes, sir?
Most people never get to that point.
Vimal?
Most people never get to that point.
Come on.
Most people never get to that point, it seems.
Most people never get to that point.
Most people never get to that point. You asked that question. I didn't ask that question. When a question was asked, sir, what is the origin of disorder? Why is there conflict? What do we mean by helping somebody who needs help? If all that is involved, when we talk about disorder, you asked it, I didn't. I observe personally throughout the world there is constant psychological as well as physical difference. And out of that division, out of that corridor of opposites, power. Shall I go on in spite of that? You can hear it all right? Then one noise, I hope, is not fighting another noise. So we are asking, is one aware, first of all, of one's life being in conflict? Is one aware that this conflict arises from disorder, and disorder exists because of division in oneself? I desire one thing, and I am opposing that very desire. I want to achieve something, and I know I can't. I want to be the Queen of England, I can't. And so on and on and on. So is one aware of this? If one is aware, when one is aware, what is the next step? You understand my questions? I am aware, suppose I am aware that I live in disordered life, then what is the next thing I have to do? One knows that one lives in disorder. One deceives oneself, one says one thing, one tries to be friends with another, all the time wanting to exploit that another, and so on, so on, so on, so on. Then what is the next thing?
The danger of it.
It is important to recognize the danger of it.
Can we go into that just a little bit?
The danger, go into it a little bit.
Can we go? I told you there are now three noises, your noise, my noise, and that noise. It becomes rather difficult. I believe that's a tape recorder. Can't that tape go wrong? Something go wrong with it?
Go any further.
I can't hear you, sir.
It seems to me that we can't go any further until we recognize the danger of it.
He wants to know more about the dangers of it.
It seems to me that we can't go any further until we do recognize the danger of it.
Yes. You cannot go further till one recognizes the danger of it. Now, wait a minute, sir. what do we mean by the danger, by the word danger?
Sir, don't we mean that by making a choice and trying to end the conflict, you're possibly going to produce a chain of thought that is going to bring you further from what you were originally seeking?
That's right, sir, that's right. What do we mean by danger? A car is coming towards you as you're crossing the road, and you might die by all the rest of it, so you move away from it. Self-preservation. The instinct to preserve one's being, both physiologically as well as psychologically. Now, is not conflict similar to that? Let's keep it very simple. Is not conflict similar to a car rushing towards you?
Sir, it is similar, obviously. But then there is something in danger. There is a danger, for instance, to the health of smoking, right? One smokes and still continues to smoke, although one is aware of the danger.
Smoking. One is aware of the danger of smoking. It might lead to cancer of the lung. But the taste, the habit, the custom, the tradition, the advertising, all that helps you to keep up smoking. So there is contradiction. Wanting to give up smoking, seeing the danger of it, and yet going on with it. Now, which is the most important, the dangerous thing there? The most. Smoking, obviously. Then can you, please listen, sir, can one give up smoking without effort? The body has got used to the nicotine, all the rest of it, and it demands it. So, I've never smoked in my life, but we're taking that. So what shall we do? How do you give up something, a habit, not only physiological, but also deeply psychological habit, custom, routine, without the slightest effort? You may never have asked this question. We are asking it now.
You need to be able to become so conscious of it that you drop it.
Yes, sir. Find out, have you dropped a habit? I'm talking not unpleasant habits. That's easy. Say, well, this beastly thing, and you drop it. But the most pleasant habit, have you ever dropped a pleasant habit easily, without effort?
Does one have to see the habit before it becomes the habit?
What's that?
Does one have to see the habit before it becomes?
Obviously, if one doesn't see it, then you are playing with words. If you actually see a habit that has been formed for a long time, to give it up completely, to drop it.
You don't resist the habit.
Huh?
You don't resist it.
Now, then what will you do? You don't resist it. Go on, sir, explore it. You don't resist it. You don't fight against it. You don't suppress it. You don't run away from it. No, if you see what happens, sir, please look. You said you become aware of it, right? Then you don't suppress it. Then you don't run away from it. Then you don't wish to change it even. Yeah. Therefore, there is no resistance. Right? Now, please watch it. If you do all this, what has happened to your mind, which has been working in habits, in routine? You understand my question? What's happened to a mind that has lived in habits, that has functioned in routine, in methods, in system, under pressure, when it realizes that to be free of any habit, no suppression, no running away from it, no trying to reason it out, not trying to say, well, I must get rid of it. All that implies conflict. So, does one realize this? First, that when the mind is conditioned to function in habits. Because then it thinks there is security in habits. But when one realizes very clearly that a routine is a mechanical thing, it's not alive, and that is there a way of abandoning that habit without any pressure? After asking that question, you understand, we've said, is one aware of the habit, then seeing that it's no good escaping from it and all the rest, does one see this? Right? Not as a theory, actually does one see it's no good escaping.
No, we've tried that, that's no good, you know that.
Then what takes place? Come on?
The mind begins to be more quiet.
I can't hear, sir.
The mind becomes quiet.
The mind becomes quiet. Is that so?
I begin to question the habit then.
No, sir. You have when one becomes aware that one lives in a habit, you have already questioned it. You are questioning it right from then. Why do I live in habits? Why does my function run along a particular groove? And so on, so on. You are already, by becoming aware of your habit, you are already questioning it. When you are questioning it, you see it's no good running away from it. No good suppressing it. So what has happened to your mind? Go slowly, sir. If you want, I have become aware that I have a habit, a belief, a tradition, an acceptance of authority, and so on, so on. It's a habit. My country and your country and all that. You have questioned it, and you see the danger of it. Do you see the danger? What is it that sees the danger? You understand my question? One sees the danger of war, the cruelty of it, the bestiality of it, the futility of it, the whole thing. When you actually see that, what is making you see that it is terribly stupid? No, what makes you see, sir? Please look at it before you answer it. What makes you see the car coming again, running towards you, and you hop out of the way? What makes you do that?
Observation.
Wait, that's good enough. Which means what? There is an act of intelligence there. It's the most stupid thing to stand in the way, right? That's an act of intelligence. Now, when you see the danger of war, the futility of wars, the ugly whole of it, the very perception, is it not intelligence? Right? That's all I'm asking. So, intelligence says don't suppress. Don't run away from it. It is there, look at it. Hold it. Go in. Don't make an abstraction of it, look at it. The very questioning, awareness, seeing the danger of it, the perception itself is intelligence, right? That intelligence that says, drop it. Don't do anything. You understand what I'm saying? As you didn't argue with the car coming towards you, you got out of its way. There is an act of intelligence. In the same way, if you see the futility of religions as they are now, the very seeing of it is intelligence. The man who says, well, I'm sorry, I don't want to listen to your nonsense, and goes on with his whole life, he's what he is.
I see the need to give up the habit. Intelligence tells me that.
There is no giving up.
To abandon.
No, there is no giving up. That's the moment you say I must give up, it's an effort. Conflict.
I don't mean in that way, sir. But I see the danger of the habit. Yet, and this is the problem, there is pain, there is resistance in abandoning the habit. I am used to living in a pattern, and it means I have to give up that pattern, and there may be pain in giving up the pattern.
No, sir, please forgive me if I contradict you a minute. I hope you don't mind. I'm not really contradicting you, but I'm saying something. We are trying to... Look, you have said that. Please listen to what the other chap has to say. He says when you see something dangerous, that very seeing is intelligence. Right? If when you see the danger of habit, it is intelligence that's saying it's not worth it. So which is dominant, the habit or the intelligence? You understand my question? Which is the dominant factor? When you see a car coming towards you, intelligence says, move. Which is the dominant factor there? Obviously. But to you, the other is not a dominant factor.
Isn't there a danger here of becoming against habits? Like every time you see a car, from then on you jump?
That's not a habit. Surely that's not a habit.
That's a ridiculous example, but there's less ridiculous examples.
Therefore, sir, you're asking a question which has one has to go much deeper. Why does the mind or the brain function in habits, right? Why is the nature of habit? No, I must go into it a little more deeply, shall we? Do you want to go into it more deeply? All right. Are you aware? Is the brain or the mind aware of the beginning of a habit? Or is it aware after forming a habit, wanting to get rid of it and then fighting it? You understand my question? There are two questions involved. One is one aware habit being formed? If one is, then you don't enter into the other. The other being forming a habit, fighting it, trying to get rid of it, and the conflict and the misery and all the rest of it. So to go beyond that, is one aware the beginning of a habit?
It seems when one is aware of the beginning of the habit too, how a certain thing is regarded.
So you please be good enough to find out, do you know when habit is the beginning?
When I'm aware, yes.
No, you're not. You're not meeting my point, if I may. So I'm not trying to tell you what to think, but I'm saying, am I aware a habit beginning? Or I've been so conditioned that I only live in habit. As most of us are, we are so conditioned that we live in habits. I believe, I don't believe, you follow, so all that. So which is it now? Are we discussing a mind that's so heavily conditioned by habits being belief, all the rest of it, and how to be free of it, and to be free of it without any conflict, and to be free of it without a conflict implies, the total danger, not of a particular condition, of a particular habit, but the whole structure of habit. Is one aware the danger of habit? That awareness implies intelligence. Then that intelligence says, get finished. Moment you see the danger, it's finished. As you car coming towards you, the danger, you move. You don't stand there and argue with the car. I'm going to run away from it. How shall I run away from it? What shall I do? Is it right to do? Is it wrong to do? There is no argument. There is direct perception, action. Here, there is no direct perception or action because you are conditioned. That's one problem. The other is there an awareness of the beginning of a habit, both physically as well as psychologically? I wonder if now, which is it we are dealing with? Are we dealing with a mind that is constantly functioning in habits? That is, I'm a Catholic, I'm a Protestant, I'm a whatever it is, I'm a Hindu, Buddhist, you follow? I'm an American, all the rest of it, which is all conditioned habit. If you say, how is one to be free of that? First, one must see the extreme danger of it. Not theoretical danger, but the actual danger as that of a car coming towards you. Do we actually see the danger of it? Or is it all a theory? If you see, when there is seeing the danger, that very seeing is intelligence, right? And intelligence says move. There is no conflict. I wonder if I'm making myself clear, sir.
Sir, the intelligence understand what you're saying on that, yet the conditioning is still there.
No, wait. So wait a minute. So do we see the danger of conditioning? The danger of being conditioned as an American with all the affluence, with all the problems, with all the separate nationalists, all that problem. Does one see the danger of being conditioned?
We obviously don't. I'd like to know why we don't. Why don't we all see the danger?
I don't know, so I'm asking. Then if you don't see it, now wait a minute, sir. What will make you see it? We've had terrible wars, right? Most appalling destruction, both outwardly and inwardly, maimed, blind, tears, agony, despair. That hasn't shown us the danger of nationalism. I'm taking that as one issue. Or the danger of dividing the world into groups. We don't see that. Our economic conflict that's going on between countries, that's a danger. If we all got together and said, for God's sake, let's all work together and it's finished. But we don't see the danger of it. So what will make you or help you to see the danger of it? Of being conditioned. Go into it, look at it carefully, go into it a little bit. If you go to the Arab and say, look, my friend, you are conditioned, therefore you are fighting, you say, get the hell out of here. Right? I'm an Arab. The Jews have destroyed my country, and so on, so on, so on. So, what makes you, please listen, question the danger of conditioning? Is it because you have leisure? Leisure. You are not immediately in war. You are not immediately challenged about anything. So you say, well, I have time to think about this. Right? So, you only apparently respond when something is tremendously dangerous. Either act according to your conditioning or totally differently from your conditioning. You understand? Now, which is it? You don't see all this. Which means, does it mean we are only concerned with being immediately safe, secure? You understand my question? Therefore, we don't think about the world, we don't not concern what is happening in the Middle East, Far East, in Europe, and in Russia. And we are only concerned with our little world of our own making. Right? Is that it?
I keep going back to the simple idea of the car.
Huh?
I keep going back to the simple idea of the car coming at one. And the perception, the intelligence, and the action of moving away. There is no thought involved there.
No.
There's no thought there.
No, but that's a form of conditioning which has helped you to preserve yourself physically. That itself is a part of your conditioning. That's a natural, healthy conditioning.
Is there no emotion there also?
What's that?
Is there no emotion there also?
Is there no emotion there also?
No, sir, only there is danger. And look, sir, nobody has told, you haven't experimented with the wrestler, right? You don't say, let me go and play with it and learn, but you have been told for 1,000 years or more, be careful of snakes. That's part of your conditioning, which is intelligence, which is natural, which is healthy. But the others are unhealthy, dangerous. And we don't see the danger of it because we are so concerned with the immediate security. Right?
Sir, isn't it also, for me personally, in my experience, I lack the capacity to be able to see the chain of events that are going to bring this destruction upon me. Like with your example of the car, that's immediate. It's easily understood and it's completely within the capacity of my intelligence. But say when I do an action, as I recently had an accident on my bicycle, I had a bag and I placed it around the front of near my spokes in the front wheel, and it eventually got caught. I lacked the capacity to see the chain of events.
So what makes you see the danger? That's what I'm trying to get at.
Waking up.
What will make you wake up?
By seeing that the conflict is what gives us pain and agony.
My lady, yes, I agree. But what?
But we are conditioned to see pain and agony as important to life. We do not see life without pain.
Yes, all right, lady. But what will you do about it?
Until you become tired of the pain and the agony, you will suffer.
So you're saying through suffering, through pain, through suffering, through sorrow, you will awake. You will.
No, if you are in love with this, nothing will awake you. The point is, each of us thinks we're conditioned about nationalities. We are conditioned to enjoy suffering. From the day we are born, we are taught that this is what life is. And so we all cling to it. We are secure in our agony.
So you like your suffering, you like your agony, you like your sorrow, you like the danger. All right, have it.
I don't like it.
That's the very essence of neuroticism.
We're talking about where we see things. I think it might be worthwhile if we examine different ways of perceiving things. The point about the car is that you perceive and you don't act. You don't have time for thought. And when you start talking about smoking and about how you give it up effortlessly and things like that, I think we have to examine the different ways of perceiving things in their different perspectives.
All right. So you are saying there are different ways of seeing the same thing. Is that it? You see it in one way, another sees it another way, I see it another way, and so on, so on, so on, which is our conditioning, obviously. If I am a Hindu, brought up as a Hindu, with all the superstitions, caste, and so on, I see it only that way. That's my conditioning. And you see it your way because you're conditioning. And the opposing conditionings are our problem. So please look at it. So we said, let's go deeply into the whole movement of habit forming, right? Now just take one incident, small, but it covers a great deal. One incident. You are hurt, right? Psychologically. From in the school, in college, university, you are hurt. The hurt comes into being when you compare, right? when the teacher or the mother or the parents say, be as good as your uncle. You must be as clever as your brother or your aunt or grandmother. So through comparison, you are hurting a person, right? I wonder if you see that, do we? Oh, come on. No? Oh, you don't see it? Yes. You see it, right. Now, that the hurt has become a habit, right? Which means that in order to prevent yourself from being hurt further, you resist. You build a wall around yourself. In building a wall around yourself, you are afraid to being further hurt. And gradually you isolate yourself. Right? Now, that is a habit, isn't it? Just take that and it's a great habit which humanity has learned. To be hurt and then resist, build a wall around yourself in resisting, isolate yourself, and never explode. Right? So, that's become a habit. How will you break that habit? Do please listen to it quietly. Let me talk for 2 minutes. And I'm not preventing you from talking, from expressing, from anything. I'm just pointing out. Are you aware of being hurt, going through all resistance, building, and isolating yourself? Are you aware of this? Which is a habit. No? Are you aware of this? Yeah. No. Am I, because I pointed out to you, say yes, I'm aware of it. Or are you aware of your hurt for yourself? From that hurt, all kinds of neurotic, illusory actions take place. Right?
I think the next question might be, are we aware of the danger of isolation?
Coming to that, so first see how we have come to isolation, how we have developed slowly, carefully, this sense of being isolated. America is isolated. Russia is isolated. The Jews, the Arabs, the Hindus are isolated. So do you realize, see, conscious that from being hurt, this whole movement takes place?
The problem is the hurt hurts.
I'm coming to that, sir. Why you? What is it that is hurt?
Ego. Our image.
The image that you have about yourself. If I think I'm a very great man, you come around and say, don't be an ass, I'm feeling, good Lord. I'm hurt because I have an image about myself. A reputation, this, that, and the other. Or I want a reputation. Because I think I've found something and nobody will listen to me, and so on. I want a reputation. And if I'm not respected, if I'm not then I'm hurt. So the image is hurt, right? From that hurt, all the other things takes place. Are you aware of this as a habit, which is a habit, a tremendous habit? Now, then do you see the danger, real danger of isolation? then you have no relationship with anybody. You may pretend, you may say, I'm married, I love you, I'm this, I am that. I'm really in communication with all of you. But if I am hurt, isolation is inevitable. Now, to see the danger of it, will you see the danger of it through sorrow? You understand? More sorrow, more pain, more agony.
Heart attacks, cancer, asthma, you name it. That's what the result is. And it's immediate and destructive.
Yes, lady, but we're asking the same thing. What will make you see the danger? Propaganda? All the magazines telling you don't be isolated? It wouldn't be Popular magazine anyhow. So please, I'm asking you, what will make, this is a serious question, what will make human beings awaken to the tremendous danger which they are creating, which they are building?
No matter what we do, we are creating a conflict.
Beg pardon, ma'am?
No matter what we do, we are creating a conflict to get rid of it.
Perhaps if few of us understood the nature of conflict, and so end conflict in ourselves, it may affect the whole world. You don't see all this. So the question then is, what will make you see the danger? Apparently nothing, right?
To overcome the prejudice, just to increase the quality and quantity of thought, of thinking about and trying to understand in general, and not into particular things, but to be able to have and hope that people are going to begin to start just thinking and
yes,
trying to understand, to create that desire for themselves.
Some of you, unfortunately or fortunately, have listened to me for many years. Or you are hearing it for the first time. What will make you see the danger of this thing, isolation? Talk, my talking endlessly. You are attending to the talks endlessly. Will earthquakes, lack of water, fire, what will make man transform himself?
When I see that the 3-year-old child is conditioned, it makes me want to act. When the 3-year-old
If you have a 2-year-old child, how you educate, how you bring him up, whether you are conditioned, therefore you will condition the child, and so on. It's so obvious all this. You're not answering my question if you don't mind my asking, repeating this. What will make you change? Drop all this nonsense, which is so fundamentally dangerous for your life, for your children, for the whole world.
If you actually see it, you have to say it's isolation.
You see, I'm pointing it out to you.
I know, but why do you have to say it's isolation? As soon as you say that, don't you breed that isolation?
What?
Don't you breed isolation? Like if
Yes,
if
sir.
I say
I'm using the word isolation to convey all that.
So if you say isolation, then you breed to it. So why is it necessary to say I am isolated? Just realize it, not in
Realize
words.
it, then realize it, sir. Without my saying it, see the danger of the way we are living. Which doesn't mean you go and join a little community. That doesn't solve anything. The danger of the way we are living totally, economically, socially, religiously, politically, every way, the most desperate danger. You don't see it?
So then if a few people realize this and they find each other and they make their own group, again it's another group.
I know, that's just it. Don't join any groups. I'm not telling you what to do. Keep out of all groups, keep out of all institutions, keep out of all following anybody.
Doesn't it come down to individual interest?
Yeah, I would like to put it. What will make you take interest in this?
To be serious.
Huh?
To be serious.
All right. You have changed the word. What will make you serious?
Sir, confronting your own fear.
Hence desire to change.
What's that? Yes, sir, that's what we are saying.
But to see it and to feel it is to
See it, sir.
So
Sir, you're
our isolation allows us no contact, no relationship to anything, not even to danger. This is perhaps why we don't see the danger. So what will make us see is this intelligence.
Do it. Will you drop your hurts? Will you drop your isolation?
I see that there's a natural instinct or a natural conditioning that precedes intelligence, which is the awareness that follows. Intelligence is awareness. There's a natural innate thing within us all that is in conjunction with natural environmental things, and to interpret that into a thought or an awareness is an intelligence, which can be divided, I think, possibly into a positive or a negative.
There's no positive intelligence or negative, good intelligence or bad. Intelligence is intelligence.
But rationalizing a habit is an intelligent awareness.
No, sir, it is not. Rationalizing is another form of escape from a habit.
So what will make us see?
What will make you see, sir? Do you ask it from another or from yourself, for yourself?
For myself.
Then what's your response? If you're really honest, not that I'm not saying you're not, but if one is really honest and says, why don't I see the danger? What's your response to it? I'll go slowly, sir, go slowly. What's your response to it? Your actual response.
My response is that I feel sad that I can't see.
My response is that I'm afraid.
Get up and?
I'm afraid.
Afraid. We dealt with that fear, we went into it, but that gentleman asked, I'm asking him, do you ask this question of yourself? If you do, what's your response? Now wait a minute, sir. To see danger, one must be sensitive, mustn't one? Now, how will you become sensitive? Wait, no, please don't go into it. How will you become sensitive? Both physically as well as psychologically. Inwardly as well as outwardly. How will you become extraordinarily sensitive to all the danger of... Wait, what's that?
Giving up?
Huh?
Giving up? fight?
No, don't give up anything, sir. We've talked about it. To give up implies conflict, doesn't it?
When we want, I don't know how to say it. When we give up our wants,
No, don't give up, sir.
But if we want to give up, then there's conflict. So the only thing we can do is just lead a life of destructiveness.
Yes, sir. Now we said to see some. Look, when a car comes towards you, you're sensitive. Huh? You're not blind, you're not deaf, you're not dumb, your body isn't rigid, paralyzed. You move, which implies a certain quality of sensitivity, right? Now, you don't see the dangers of other, much more serious things. So I'm suggesting you will see the danger if you're sensitive, right? Psychologically. Now, what will make you sensitive? Just listen to it. What will make you sensitive?
By using the senses.
What?
By using one's senses.
By using your senses. You've used your senses, haven't you?
You have to be willing to experience it.
Huh?
You have to be willing to experience the feeling from the danger or whatever your reaction to it is.
Experience, that means must you be killed?
No.
Must you get drunk? To find out what it is to be sober? Answer me, sir. You all take drinks.
You don't have to do it to experience it.
Must you experience at all? I won't enter into that much larger field.
Sir, a new way of living might create suffering for me, and I may be afraid of that suffering. I think fear does enter in here.
That's right, sir. You are afraid by giving up your conditioning, you may be in greater danger. So what is that? Thought has projected an idea of danger, and you're afraid of that idea. But you don't see the danger of conditioning. So, please, what will make you see the danger? Not a particular, the danger of our way of our living. I'm suggesting first, to be aware of the danger, one must be sensitive, right? Which means psychologically, you mustn't take drinks, drugs, do things that make you dull. Right? What makes you dull? You go into it. Don't just throw out what makes one dull. Please listen. Just look at yourself, sir. Are you dull because you compare yourself with somebody else? And therefore say, I am dull? Right? I'm just asking this. Do you compare yourself with somebody who is extraordinarily bright and clear and all the rest of it, and say, my God, how dull I am compared to that man or that woman? So I'm asking, is that dullness come into being through comparison? Or if you don't compare, what takes place? So, we have found one factor, that is, we become dull, or we are made dull through comparison. Is that so? So, will you stop comparing? That's all.
Or when I compare, will I notice I'm comparing and not believe it?
You'd find out. First, stop comparing. Comparing means measurement. To measure one's image against another image. Can one stop comparing? My God. See what happens when you're not comparing? You've thrown off an enormous burden that is making you dull, heavy. Then, imitation makes you dull. Insensitive. I won't use the word insensitive. Imitation. Right? You know what that word means. Can you drop imitating somebody? Following, so on, so on. So, if you do these things actually, then you are extraordinarily sensitive, alive, without any pressure, without any burden. So, we'll meet again after tomorrow if you want to meet.